we'll followed by Mr. Oscar Hernandez.
Good afternoon. My name is Erica Hubbard, and I'm a resident of Fifth Ward, and I'd like to talk about the stray dog issues that impact the quality of life of the individuals that live in my neighborhood. I'm also here to ask District B Councilman Jerry Davis to support the upcoming Big Fix initiative happening in February 2017. Before I get started, I'd also like to thank Councilman Davis for all of his hard work in the community. Back in September, I witnessed a pack of dogs run towards a group of school children per the handout that's being passed out to you. By the time I got to my front door to help, I saw one of the kids pick up a rock and threw it at the dogs. These young children did not run, nor did they seem afraid. They just kept casually walking down the street on their way to Atherton Elementary. This scenario played out for 2 days in a row. So in my neighborhood, in Fifth Ward, children and elders walk down the street with objects in their hands because stray dogs and loose dogs coming towards them has turned into normalized behavior. I contacted BARC, the agencies behind me, and my civic club about ways to address this issue, and got involved in the citywide Big Fix Houston initiative slated for next February. This program will benefit residents of the Fifth Ward and also Acres Home with vouchers to take their pets to participating vets so they can receive spay and neutering services, an exam, a microchip, all free of charge for 30 days. The Big Fix Houston will also arrange for transportation of the animal, but more importantly, will create dialogue between the pet owners and the community. I learned last week from speaking to Councilman Davis's office that he plans to address this issue through an upcoming block-by-block pilot that will include door-to-door / dog sweeps by BARC, in addition to other much-needed city services. Councilman Davis' office implied that the Big Fix Houston event appeared perhaps redundant in light of his pilot initiative, and Laura Cunningham from BARC seemed concerned that the event is occurring too close to the Super Bowl. My response is that there can never be enough done to address the animal welfare crisis in Houston as the Animal Control Department continues to operate underfunded and understaffed. Secondly, let's keep perspective. A one-time 4-hour game versus stray loose dogs issues occurring all day, every day in District B cannot be disputed. And finally, other city councilmen here, Councilman Cisneros and Councilman Gallegos, are supporting the initiative. So lastly, I'm here to ask Councilman Davis for his support, and I'd like to stand in solidarity with other individuals from the community and hope that you continue with your block-by-block pilot, but also consider this initiative and also expand Emancipate in Fifth Ward.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much, Ms. Hubbard, for coming down. We appreciate, all the work. In the last 5 years, we've been working, trying to figure out how do we make this better. I mean, this picture, this is a bad picture, but we've been seeing it for the last 5 years. We've seen it a few years ago when the young lady elderly lady was killed by a dog. They've been chasing people down the street. People, as they walk, dogs would come out and they would chase them up the sidewalk. And we have increased money into BARC. Asking BARC to come out, doing ride-alongs. They've set out traps, and it's a process that we have to continue to work on, just like illegal dumping. And I do understand the elements of the Big Fix, but we are looking at between the tens as a holistic approach with flooding, as well as the dogs, as well as illegal dumping with solid waste, as well as Department of Neighborhoods. We're trying to get the information out with the schools, Barbara Jordan and Wheatley High School, to go out and make sure that people understand what are the ordinances of the city of Houston. And so it's a holistic approach, and we're looking to work with you all the citizens in the Fifth Ward area, as well as District B and as well as the city of Houston, volunteers, and we have contacted Emancipate, and we are getting ready to work with them, and we had a meeting, I think, just last week with them. So we appreciate, again, the concern. We also appreciate Councilmember Gallegos making the big step, getting the Emancipate down here with the trailer, and moving forward now with the permanent structure. And so I understand it may look like we're not doing certain things, but we're working, and it's going to take a lot from the constituents to understand what we're supposed to do. And you and I, and probably most of the people in here, may think that people understand that your dog should be on a leash or behind a gate, but some people don't understand that. So that's why we're taking this approach to go door by door and work on those communities with those agencies as well as the City of Houston's HPD. So, thank you.
Councilmember Green?
Yes, thank you for coming down, and I appreciate your activity with regard to this issue in your neighborhood. We've had the same issues in my district, District K. But I do want to commend your council member for taking the lead, working with Emancipation and BART. What you'll see is once you get started with the sweeps and what have you, it's going to take maybe about a year, 3, 4 different sweeps, and then you'll start seeing the numbers of those dogs it'll start going down. What we found in our neighborhood was that after a series of those, the sweeps and the spade and neuter and the chips and that now the number has gone down. So the chronicness of it, where we used to see these packs that would run with the first time they'll get some, second time they'll get some, but when you do a series of them, then you'll find that the neighborhood starts to kind of mellow out and whatnot. But it's going to take about a year, about 3 or 4 sweeps to really, to start actually seeing it. So I just want to encourage you and thank you for doing it because it does help. But know that it's not, kind of a one time and then it's going to be a minute before we get it. But it does work.
We have to be careful about sweeps because we know that although we are getting some stray dogs off the street, we're also getting other people's pets.
Right.
So I don't know if a sweep across the board regularly is going to solve the problem.
Well, generally, if your pet is ID'd or chipped, then they usually don't take them in. It's only the ones that are not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cisneros?
Thank you, and thank you for participating in some of the visioning meetings we had this fall to talk about designating February Spay Neuter Awareness Month, and Big Fix Houston is our special day that's just will be in Houston. It'll be the second Saturday of February for now until forever, I hope. But it's just an opportunity really to spread the word about the importance of spay neuter, to try to provide as many spay neuter opportunities, surgeries as possible that month. Harris County is working with this too. I believe it's Gloria Centeno from Barrio Dogs is going to speak in a little bit. So Unity for Solution has been working with us, and the City of Houston is. But it's just really a designation that's really meant to inspire everyone to think about what can each of us do to help the problem, because it's creating dangerous situations for residents. It's also not safe for the animals that are on the street. But motion to extend, please. Second. But it's just to start.
We're in favor, opposed, and we're a little short, but keep going.
Okay. And we are in competition with the Super Bowl this year. It's also our first year, and so I think we'll learn and how to make it better, and it'll be something that grows. And I hope that people all over will take up. I got a letter from a high school student who got wind of it, and he was excited. And so I wrote back to him and said, take it as a challenge. What can you do? How can you influence, changing the direction that this is going? Because right now we are overrun with dogs that that shouldn't be just hanging out in the street like they are. And so right now we are focusing on pet owners and spaying, neutering their dogs. But we have another challenge, and that is the dogs that don't belong to anybody. That they need to be. We need to figure out how to take care of them too. Thank you for being here today. Keep plugging away at this. We appreciate you.
Okay.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Stardick.
Thank you for coming down. We appreciate everything you're working on. It is a process. In District A, we did the Snip Chip Hooray, and we got a great response for that. And that was sort of our own branding, and that was a way to get people involved and take care of things. We did a free service for all the services. We also did Chip Chip Hooray. A lot of it is too that a lot of the cultures in our district, they don't necessarily have fencing that would keep their pets off the street except to come home at night. So I want to make sure they're identified and get home to the proper place. So we're doing it a little differently. We're trying to make sure that we offer the services, educate at the same time, and try to get everyone's pets back home. I'm less likely to do a sweep in my district because I do not want to end up taking someone's pet down to bark, and then they're going to go get another pet,
Right.
and then you're just creating a
Cycle.
cycle. And so I think it's important that the education piece is in place, especially at the schools, and we make sure that the young people understand the responsibility of having a pet.
Right.
So there's a holistic approach to it, and I appreciate all the work y'all have done. Thank you.
Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm losing my voice, but I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Secretary, can you call the next speaker?
The next speaker is Mr. Hernandez, to be followed by Ms. Karen Martinez.